Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hidayatul Husna Binti Pandeta. My matrix number is 70972. My supervisor name is Dr. Juliali Ahicheng, and my assessor's name is Dr. Fitri Suraya Binti Muhammad Habni Jobli and Madam Ros Azura Binti Zahid. And my title for final year project is a comprehension review, the early detection of autism children and parenting development. So my topic is autism spectrum disorders. So this is my presentation outline, which is I will start with introduction. Uh, The second is research objectives. The third is research question. The next is methodology and mind map of subtopic. And last but not least, references. So introduction, I will give a few of points about autism spectrum disorders and parenting development. And the second is research objective, which is I will give my objective that guide me in this presentation. The third is research question which is a few of question that I use to guide me in final year project. The next is methodology, which is I will give a few of keywords, research sources, and my fully research method and mind map of subtopic, which is a few of points that I use to in my final year project and references. So this is introduction. First point is parents of children with autism spectrum disorder (ASD) face numerous problems as well as a higher risk of psychological distress. ASD is a long-term condition that necessitates parents devoting a significant amount of effort to caring for the affected children. So the second point is previous research has indicated that dealing with the behavioral differences, restricted social engagement and communication, and type ritualistic behaviors of children with ASD can be difficult for parents. So this is the third point, which is autism spectrum disorder (ASD) is a communication behavior disorder that affects children. Although autism can find in any age, it is classified as a developmental disorder. Symptoms usually arise between the ages of 2. So this is my research objective, which is the guideline for me um, to do the final year project. The first the first objective is to identify early steps in detecting autism spectrum disorder (ASD) in children. The second objective is to study early steps for parents to detect autism spectrum disorders in children. And the third objective is to identify actions that parents need to take when dealing with children with autism spectrum disorders. So for the research question is I use a few of question that help me in final year project. So the first question is, does early detection of autism spectrum disorder ASD help children grow up well? And the second question is, does early detection of this disorder help parents in seeking treatment to treat children with autism spectrum disorders ASD? So this is a few of methodology that I use to find the sources that related with my final year project, which is the early detection of autism children. So I use a few of keywords in search the sources. So the first one is early diagnosis. The second is early detection. The third is autism children's. Fourth is parenting development. And last but not least is autism spectrum disorders. So I use a few of sources, which is I use from ResearchGate. Second is Google Scholar, and the third is PubMed, and the last but not least is Science Direct. So I use ResearchGate. Uh, I use ResearchGate. I use a ResearchGate, Google Scholar, PubMed, and Science Direct. So my final year project is fully use comprehensive review, which is I use a journal, article, and document that are related with my final year project. So this is my mind map of subtopic, which is it have in my final year project, and this is a few of subtopic. And the first one is the way parents deal with autistic children. The second is the effects of taking early detection of children with autism. The third is the early parental steps for children with autism. And the last but not least, the early uh, detection steps for children to know about children with autism. So I use a few of journal, and this is a few of references that I use. That journal that related with my uh, final year project, which is the first is early diagnosis of autism and impact of prognosis, a narrative review. The second is behind the scenes of parents nurturing a child with autism, a qualitative study in Malaysia, that from International Journal of Environment Research and Public Health. The last but not least is what is autism spectrum disorder. So this is a few of references that I use. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.